I've never heard the office of the president. You'll notice if you ever watch GBTV or you watch us in the morning, you will see that I've never done anything in the radio, on radio, in the Oval Office. I have an exact duplicate of the Oval Office. I have only done the one bit that we do once a week, and it's written by me and a speechwriter, formerly a speechwriter of the President of the United States, and we keep that sacred. It's a set. It's a stupid set. But we don't ever taint that. We never taint it. Why? Because the office means more. The office elevates us. We're supposed to, it's Ronald Reagan. Wear a jacket in the office. It deserves a jacket. Show it respect. This president and vice president have so soiled, more so than Richard Nixon, more so than Bill Clinton. I mean, we could at least get the stains out of the carpet after Clinton. Nixon did a really horrible thing to the presidency. Horrible. Clinton, I don't think did worse than Nixon did, but Clinton really hurt our children with what he was doing in the Oval, and we did worse by accepting it. But this president has taken the entire office, not just the Oval, the entire office, and just made it into a printing press for money, a terrorist hangout, a place for communists, and now taken the seal and the dignity of the president and thrown it under the bus, where they're lying about people. They're completely changing what we are as a people, as a nation, and now using it to divide us and cause race riots. Because that's what this kind of rhetoric leads to.
Well, I mean, you've talked about something like the terrorist thing you just mentioned. You know, you're talking about people from the Muslim Brotherhood who have come and visited the White House, which have ties to terrorists.
Work for this administration.
So we've talked about a lot of that stuff before. To me, I mean, when you're talking about the race wars thing, I think a lot of that applies only by their standard. Because, like you've said a million times, like, this does this and this can enslave you. There's nothing wrong with using that language per se. I don't think that, like, Alan West, they've talked about Alan West, who has said things like that as well. Well, he's talking about the take the chains off of you, which he's talking about, he's using slavery
as a metaphor.
As a metaphor.
That's not what they're saying here.
Well, he's talking about Wall Street, right? I mean, he's not talking about literally, people in Wall Street are going to put you in chains. I mean, he's talking about, writing your own rules. They're going to be able to do whatever they want. And
who put, and I say this with the Republicans having an equal amount of blame in this. Who is responsible for, if you want to use his rhetoric, putting people in chains? Freddie and Fannie, that's who. Congress saying you have to lower the standards. They enslaved people to debt by making it completely consequence-free.
Mm-hmm.
They are enslaving our children to the debt. I have no problem saying you want to enslave to debt. But if you want to talk about chains, Mr. President, you have put chains around, as we talked about yesterday with that piece from Walt Disney. Walt Disney was rejected by 3 banks in 1953 on his idea of Disneyland. He couldn't get the financing. He couldn't get his own people in his own company to back this idea of Disneyland in 1953. By 1955, Disneyland was open. You want to talk about slavery or enslaving people, you're doing it with your regulation. So how is it that if Mitt Romney was for deregulation, those are more chains? Those are more chains? No. And then, I'm sorry, but with everything that is being said by the left, where they are saying, if my son looked like that, I have a son, he could have looked like that, he would have been killed. All the stuff that they've excused from the Black Panthers, all of the things that they've brushed under. Who was the congressman or the representative that yesterday came out with? It was up on the Blaze. I didn't see it. There's another one on race that I just read the headline on, where they were talking about how the GOP is targeting black people, and they don't say anything about the Black Panthers, who have come out yesterday and said they are going to be stepping on the necks of the GOP. These guys are starting a race war. They're trying to. The great thing is I think that there is a peace and a fatigue. We're so tired of being tired. We're so tired of being angry. It doesn't work anymore. We were angry 2 years ago, 3 years ago. I'm not angry. I'm just tired of it. I'm just not going to deal with it anymore. I'm just tired. They lose.